If someone had asked me a year ago to describe my life, I would have used words like stable, happy, and secure. I was in a relationship with Daniel, a man I thought I knew better than anyone. We had been together for almost 3 years. He was charming, funny, and had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room when he looked at me. We lived together in a small apartment on the edge of the city. The place wasn't perfect. The paint was peeling in the kitchen, and the neighbors upstairs had a tendency to blast music at midnight. But it was ours. I used to wake up before him, watch him sleep for a few minutes, and think, this is it. This is the life I dreamed about. I believed we were building something real.
The first cracks appeared so subtly that I almost missed them. Daniel started coming home later from work. He brushed it off with excuses. Meetings ran late, or traffic was insane. Sometimes he'd step into the bathroom the second he got home and linger there, texting. I told myself I was paranoid. Everyone has busy days. But then came the lies. Small ones at first, easy to excuse. One evening, I found a restaurant receipt in his jacket pocket. 2 meals, 2 drinks, 1 dessert. I asked him about it. Oh, that, just a work thing. You know how clients are. But something in his eyes gave him away. He wasn't lying well. I felt a weight settle in my chest, a quiet voice whispering what I didn't want to believe. He's hiding something. The night it all fell apart is carved into my memory like a scar. It was a Friday. We had plans to meet some of his friends for dinner. I dressed up, wanting to look nice. I even wore the necklace he'd given me for our anniversary. But when we arrived, the atmosphere shifted. His friends looked at me with uncomfortable glances. Daniel seemed restless, tapping his fingers on the table, avoiding eye contact. Halfway through the evening, he stood up. Actually, he said loudly, his voice cutting through the chatter, I think it's time we talk about something. My heart skipped. He cleared his throat, then continued. I don't think this relationship is working. I need to move on. The restaurant fell silent. I felt my face flush, my chest tighten. What? I whispered. He shrugged, his tone almost casual. It's not you. I just don't love you anymore. And then, like a cruel cherry on top, he tossed his napkin on the table, turned, and walked out. I sat there, frozen, surrounded by his friends who avoided my gaze. The bill came. $347. And of course, he hadn't paid. I pulled out my card with trembling hands, my mind a blur of humiliation, anger, and heartbreak. That night, I cried until my throat hurt. The apartment we shared felt like a stranger's place. His shoes by the door, his cologne lingering in the bedroom. It was all unbearable. For days, I replayed the moment in the restaurant. His coldness, his ease in discarding me like I meant nothing. But then, I started piecing things together. Through a mutual friend, I found out the truth. Daniel had been seeing someone else for months. All those late nights, all those excuses, it wasn't work, it was her. I felt like I'd been living in a carefully constructed lie. Growth. Finding myself again. At first, the pain consumed me, but slowly I began to realize something. His betrayal said more about him than it ever did about me. I started journaling every night, pouring out the anger, the sadness, the endless questions. Somewhere in those pages, I found pieces of myself I'd forgotten. I signed up for a painting class, something I'd always wanted to try. I reconnected with old friends, I went for long walks, listened to music that healed me, and allowed myself to breathe again. There were nights I still cried, but there were also mornings I woke up lighter, freer. One day, I looked around the apartment and thought, this is my space now, mine. And it felt good. Looking back, I realized Daniel's betrayal broke me open, but it also gave me the chance to rebuild. I learned that love isn't about brand gestures or sweet words whispered in the dark. It's about respect, honesty, and consistency. I learned that someone who humiliates you publicly never truly valued you privately. And I learned that sometimes losing someone is the best thing that can happen because it makes space for you to find yourself. So here I am, stronger, wiser. And if I could go back to that night in the restaurant, I wouldn't beg him to stay. I'd look him in the eye, smile, and say, "Thank you for showing me who you really are. Now watch me rise without you."